This is the kingdom lifestyle, value system. How have you accepted it in your personal life? Poverty is mentioned here is not based on any external value system. When you do not measure yourself on external value system, if you want to know the external value system, you go and refer to the value. Bible says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you do not have that, that person will be labeled as poor, even though he is rich in internal qualities. It's not about eating one idli or two idli. That's not the standard it's mentioned there. It is about what the world says as great, he is not having it. He is not after it. But the world will call you poor. That's the first area that comes. What is highly esteemed among men. The standards, value system usually looks at all the external things. Qualifications. Qualification by itself is not the problem. The value given to the qualification, that value system is not adopted. He may be educated also, but his degree is not even shown outside. Nobody knows whether he is qualified or not. He learned it for another purpose of serving people. He doesn't want to parade it to anyone. There are Catholics, particularly Jesuits. I have seen in Madurai, some have 2 PhDs, but only the name will be there and SJ will be there. The PhDs are not there. They don't want to show it and talk about even. My mentor has probably few PhDs, but none of us ever knew it. He never talked about it. He learned it for another purpose of knowing what it is to teach others. It's not for climbing. In that context, he was free. So it is not quantities or your attitude to it. How have you received it in your personal life? Now, one example. Luke 12:15.
And he said to them, "Take heed and beware of covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of the things he possesses."
What is your definition of abundance, of possession? That's a word that is crucial word there. Is it abundance more than what I have? Everybody will say, more than what I have, if anybody has, it is abundance. If I have 4 cars and the other one has 5, he has abundance, not me. No. What is abundance? Is it the quantity? Then how will you decide your need? How will you decide the need? Prayerfully, in God's presence, taking into consideration your neighbor around. That is, study all the Bible. Are you satisfied inside? Then only you can decide the need. If you are content inside, without contentment you cannot come to need. After contentment, the need is defined in the Bible. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 7 and 8.
For we brought nothing into the world, and we certainly cannot carry anything out. But having food and clothing, we will be content with that.
Yes. Having food and clothing, we will be content with that. The first 25 or 30 years of the hospital work in Odanjatram, all the workers were satisfied with very little compared to any other place. If it was 5,000, 500 was sufficient here. Why? The contentment is not outside, contentment is inside. Once content, it was sufficient. And what happened? From that they were able to distribute it to people around. Oxfam study done many years ago says that available provisions in the world, if it is distributed properly, 4 times the world's population can be fed and remaining will be there. So what is happening? Somebody is eating more, somebody is hoarding more. Do you eat more than what is needed? Your need must be decided by your inner contentment. So first that one. Are you content and satisfied in Christ? If you don't decide that, your need will not be. So abundance. Abundance is not the basis of life. But from childhood we are indoctrinated. Abundance is the basis of life. And then came that abundance comes from God. And that is a blessing. That's how prosperity gospel came in. If this verse has been studied and taken in, prosperity gospel would have not grown. So, foundational principle is violated. What do you believe there? Kingdom values. How do you believe? Here, there is another foundational principle. My right. As long as you hold on to this right, your whole value system will be different. Unless you remember, this is crucified, I don't have any right, selfish right on me, only God-given rights are there for me. If you don't accept, you will say, I have a right for that. It's my right to live. And that is what is promoted around. So, it again takes you to the cross. So, unless you have faced your death on the cross, none of the values of the kingdom can be accepted. So, it comes back to cross. If I want to live, I will die. If I die, I will live. Simple. Now, if we are not willing to accept certain areas and respond these truths, there is no purpose in this learning together. You can collect some information and go around and talk about the information. You will talk the walk.